Good morning. So it's Monday morning, start of the week. A bit tired, but chainsaw work is up. Edge trimmer even. So today we're dropping this hedge by about 5 or 6 foot. Just got away on the client for a couple of years. We'll reduce it, trim the sides up. Same on the other side as well. So we'll be a little bit tight outside the house, not much room to move. Tipping everything to the trailer, taking it away for a client, so the spotless down. We'll see what goes on later on. So we've returned the day after. We've got reduced the hedge yesterday. We got done late last night, so I thought I'd rather have a brew than faff around making the finishing bit of the video. So we've reduced the hedging height by about 5 or 6 foot. We've got a nice flat top line now. The hedge looks good. You can see out, but you still can't see in. It still offers a lot of privacy because the meet's about 7 or 8 foot high. The neighbours are over the moon because they've got a lot of light coming to their property. The thing about planting laurel hedges is they do grow that fast. They're so vigorous. They'll put like 4 or 5 foot of growth on per year, which is great if you want a fast screen to shelter to create privacy. But you've got to keep on top of them. You've got to prune them twice a year, keep them in shape, and the more you prune them, the thicker they get. So we'll just go over and have a look and see what we've done. So there's plenty of different ways to prune hedges, but what we normally do is we'll side the hedge up first, so we get a nice flat wall, and then once we get into the hedge, then we can get onto the top and reduce it in height. So as we were like working round, we found this another little added bonus. All this was like majorly overgrown. It was like a place just for gnomes and fairies really. It was all overgrown here. You couldn't see these steps. You couldn't see any of the pebbles. So we just went up with a chainsaw, cut a path, cleared the ivy, found this like lovely stone set pathway. So once we've cleared the vegetation away from the property, that just like lets more air moving down and stops any damp getting into that gable end. Because wherever you get trees next to properties, the air can't move, it just gets stuffy, overcrowded, and you can get damp issues then. So this particular part of the hedge here is about 15 foot wide. So when we got onto the top, we've got a big area that we have to like thin out. So at that end and the far end, it was only about like 6 foot wide, which is fine, which was a lot longer than anticipated to top this bit of the edge. So what you have to do, because this is a laurel hedge, it's evergreen, so you've got a year-round screen where you can't see through it. It's a good windbreak. It's nice. It's a sturdy tree, so it's ideal for hedging really. But like I say, it does grow so fast. And one added bonus of laurel, if you call it a bonus, is it contains cyanide in small amounts in the leaves and the bark, so it's something to be really keep in mind if you've got kids or dogs about, because if your kid or dog consumes these, they'll start getting heart palpitations and itching in your skin, and if you keep consuming it, you'll end up in hospital. And if you kept consuming a lot of it, you'll end up in the ground, which nobody wants. It's June at the minute, so it's nice and warm. So when we were working on this, getting a real sweat on, working and grafting away, we should have had gloves on. Because like this morning I woke up, all my skin and my arms are all itchy, which is a sign of I've taken some of the poisoning. My body will clear it out, it's nothing for me to worry about. But if I was working on these every single day, I would get PPE'd up, just like coronavirus. I think the idea of the tree having a high cyanide content is that anything that eats this, the laurel leaves, gets poisoned, so it's like a natural pest deterrent to proliferate the trees. It's quite clever how nature always finds a way. But you can brush up against it, no issues, but if you were to eat it or breathe the dust in, you don't want to be doing that for such a duration. So what we'll do now is we'll have a look on the other side of the edge and we will see what we've done there, and we can explain how all the regeneration comes and can be managed. So this is the other side of the edge, the neighbouring property. So like I say, we've taken about 8 foot off this edge. So as you can imagine, if it was 8 foot, it was really dark here. They've had a bit of a scratch up, but all this side of the driveway under the hedge was full of like moss, which is where that damp air is there and no freshness can get in. So on this particular part of the hedge, the neighbour had trimmed it up to this height. You see all the regeneration here. But where he couldn't reach, there's like a big lip coming out and then it just went up. So we've come in and we've topped everything. So now the regeneration, by next spring probably, will match all this. It looks like it's been absolutely battered now, but with it being a hardwood, it regenerates through bud growth, and I'd say by probably winter there'll be a nice thick canopy of leaves on the top of it. It'll look like a hedge. Now it looks like someone's been at it with a knife and fork, but I promise you we'd have used chainsaws. If we have a look at there we are. So as you can see here, maybe last autumn the clients pruned all this, and you see all the bud growth coming there. So this is advantageous bud growth, so where we cut it, the tree sends out new shoots, and then by winter all this will be like covered in leaves. And the same at the top, we'll be left with a nice thick, like nice looking hedge. It's just unfortunate that once you've paid the tree surgeons that inordinate amount of money, you're left with like a bare hedge like this. But give it time and some decent weather, and this will be a nice beautiful thick hedge again. So yeah, I think that's about it. So we shall go and do the next job, and then we'll be coming back here in 6 months time to probably prune it and trim it up again.